A rebel without a cause or a misunderstood artist. Today on our episode of Hero's Journey, we're gonna share some important moments that transformed a simple boy from England into one of the greatest musicians on the planet. Here you'll discover how young John Lennon faced family problems from an early age and managed to overcome them to achieve his dreams. So settle in and let's discover more about another Beatles life. Lennon was born in Liverpool on October 9, 1940, amidst a German bombing raid in World War II. His childhood was marked by financial hardship and a painful separation from his parents. Alfred Lennon, his father, was a sailor, which meant he was away from home for long periods of time. This continual absence put a strain on the marriage and family life, leaving Julia alone to care for John. Julia and Alfred had a complicated relationship, fraught with financial arguments and marked by much instability and the prolonged absence of a paternal figure at home. The situation reached a critical point when Alfred offered Julia the choice between him and John during an attempt of reconciliation. Julia, of course, chose her son John, leading to the couple's separation and the end of their relationship. However, recognizing she couldn't provide the solid structure and resources John needed to grow in a healthy environment, his mother handed him over to her sister to take care of him. From the age of 5, John was raised by his Aunt Mimi and her husband, George Smith, in a middle-class neighborhood called Woolton. Indeed, his aunt's house offered Lennon an environment where he could grow, study, and eventually explore his passion for music. Despite this, John Lennon was known for his rebellious behavior during school years. Lennon often challenged authority and had a sharp sense of humor, which manifested in pranks and sarcasm.
Let it A, let it B, let it C, let it D, let it F, G, H, I, K, double wobble, wobble, you G.
He was known for his irreverence and for questioning teachers, which often put him in conflict situations. His Aunt Mimi had high expectations for John and valued education, but she was also protective and concerned about his future. She hoped he would follow a conventional path in a respectable career. However, Lennon's artistic nature to question authority often clashed with these expectations. It's important to say that Mimi was known to be strict, and she was not particularly encouraging of John's musical aspirations initially, often telling him that
"The guitar's alright as a hobby, John, but you'll never make a living out of it."
despite not meeting his aunt's expectations, Lennon had undeniable talent for art and music, areas where he could express his creativity and intelligence. These artistic skills demonstrated that he was not just a rebel at school, as he had a high capacity for focus and enthusiasm when performing activities he enjoyed. Additionally, his charismatic personality and sense of humor made him popular among peers, even if he didn't fit the traditional mold of an exemplary student. Lennon was capable of forming strong friendships and leading groups, qualities that would later be fundamental in his musical career. Indeed, his strong personality in school was also crucial for Lennon to connect with some of his future bandmates. In 1957, Lennon met Paul McCartney, who soon joined the Quarrymen. George Harrison joined the band shortly after. In other words, from the beginning, Lennon showed who was in charge of the quartet. If it weren't for his proactivity, the school project probably would have never become a timeless band. His ability to attract and inspire other youths, even in a school context, foreshadowed his future leadership in the Beatles. The group began to gain popularity in Liverpool and Hamburg, Germany, where they performed many shows in a short period. In the following years, the popularity of the Liverpool Boys grew worldwide until they became the most famous rock band in history. However, another sad family episode that occurred during his youth deeply impacted John's life. He and his mother had reconnected and forgiven past wounds, sharing a deep love for music. For about 4 years, they had many good moments together. His mother taught him to play banjo, piano, and encouraged his passion for music. Unfortunately, a sudden death interrupted this connection at a crucial moment, leaving a deep emotional void in the singer when he was just 17 years old. The death of John Lennon's mother on July 15, 1958 was one of the most tragic and formative events of his life. Julia was hit by a car driven by an off-duty policeman while crossing a street in Liverpool. The loss of his mother deeply influenced the creation of the song Julia, present in the Beatles' White Album, where he directly paid homage to her, making it one of his most intimate and emotional songs.
Julia,
Other songs like Mother directly reflect his pain and the feeling of abandonment he felt after losing his mother and the constant absence of his father.
Mother, you had me, but I never had you.
The tragedy contributed to the emotional depth and complexity of Lennon's lyrics, allowing him to express vulnerability and pain in a way that resonated with many listeners. This became a hallmark of his work. Both in the Beatles and in his solo career, John often explored themes of connection, love, and humanity, seeking to feel the longing he had for his mother and heal childhood wounds. The early loss of his mother can also be seen as a catalyst for Lennon's ongoing search for meaning and spiritual connection, which manifested in his music and his activism for peace. Over the years, as he matured, John had to deal with fame, success, money, criticism, and the loss of close ones. This made the artist refine his musical expressions and deepen the messages he would leave as a legacy to society. A clear example is the contrast between the lyrics of songs like Love Me Do, created at the beginning of the 60s, with the song Imagine, made in partnership with his wife Yoko Ono in 1971, which became an anthem for several generations.
Imagine all the people living life in peace.
Despite his wisdom and musical gift, John maintained his strong and rebellious personality until the last days of his life. He criticized the American military's involvement in the Vietnam War and created a powerful song, All We Are Saying Is Giving Peace a Chance.
All we are saying is give peace a chance.
He also made harsh criticisms of the British royal family for not promoting peace. In protest, he returned the Order of the British Empire Medal, awarded by Queen Elizabeth II. The other Beatles didn't have the same courage. By the way, John became an icon not only of music, but also of someone who dedicated his life to a greater cause and was able to create great works for humanity. Unfortunately, he was assassinated in 1980 with 4 shots by a fanatic guy who claimed to be a godsend.
Lennon was shot and killed at about 11 o'clock last night outside his apartment building.
Despite this, John's message continues to echo firmly to this day. We can affirm that difficulties in his childhood, mourning, separation, and complicated family relationships had a profound impact on John Lennon, both personally and in his music. These early experiences shaped his worldview, his lyrics, and his longing for love and connection, recurring themes in his work. Music became an outlet to express his feelings and experiences, culminating in a career that touched the hearts of millions of people around the world. I hope you've discovered a bit more about the life of this great personality and drawn good lessons to create your own story. Today's hero's journey ends here, and if you enjoyed this content, leave your like and subscribe to our channel to receive our next episodes. And following our Big John's message, let's focus more on peace and love. I'll see you next time.